Well, joining us this week is the leader of the Naked Scientists, Dr. Chris Smith. Hello, Dr. Chris.
Makes me sound like some kind of nudist high rod.
It does actually, doesn't it? It makes you sound like a gang, the Naked Scientists. You know, watch out,
we
they're
are
coming
a gang.
for you. Hello to everybody listening on the podcast, and let's begin with a note from last week. This is from Danny Satterfield, who's writing about Brown's gas. And he says he heard you talking about it with the fellow talking about Brown's gas and hydrogen in his car. And he says, this is a well-known scam here in the States. People hook up their car battery to a tank of water in the boot and then funnel the hydrogen it produces to the carburetor. Electrolysis will produce hydrogen, but not enough to give an increase in gas mileage. I spent a week debunking this on the air, says Danny. Short answer is it violates the second law of thermodynamics, perpetual motion. This scam gets very popular when petrol prices rise. People actually think they're getting improved gas mileage because they drive more carefully or more slowly. That will get you a good 15% anyway. I finally got one of the top physicists in America to help me debunk it, says Danny. And there you go. So he's got more to say on this too. He sends us a link, which in a minute I'll explain what we might do with that. But that's what he says.
Yes, I too was intrigued and did some reading. The only thing positive I could find to say about this is that it's possible that if you feed the hydrogen in, that it may affect the way in which the fuel is burned. And whilst this may not translate into an improvement in mileage, in other words, how many miles to the gallon you do, it can improve the quality of the burn, and that may translate into an improvement in the cleanliness of your engine. You might produce fewer particulates, or you might produce fewer unburnt particles of fuel, and therefore it might mean that you're slightly better for the environment, but I have no evidence to back that up. That's merely someone's suggestion that it may affect the way in which the fuel burns, though, again, as that person quite rightly points out, there is this thing called the second law of thermodynamics. The idea is that energy in equals energy out. You can't possibly get a free lunch in physics, unfortunately, or anything. The rules of physics don't get rewritten inside an engine. Energy in is energy out. So if you make or you invest energy in making hydrogen, which you then feed into the engine, you cannot get more energy out than is locked up in that entire mixture, and it takes more energy to get the hydrogen out from the water in the first place than it will return because of inefficiencies in burning it. But that's not to say it doesn't affect the way in which the fuel burns. So we maybe need to qualify it in that respect.